Hello YouTube, Crazyredsimpkins here. Just shaking the camera. Anyway, I'm going to tell you about a story. This happened to me today, and about 20 minutes ago actually. It started off at 6 o'clock a.m., 6 a.m. today, and pretty much went on until about 20 minutes ago. Right now I got 11:57. So about 11:40. Today at work, I was supposed to work 6 to 11. I ended up working an extra 15-20 minutes. So, usually when I work in the mornings like this, I'm usually on production, where we make Kaisers, we make Italian bread, or Italian buns, white bread, brown bread, you know, the usuals work at a bakery in the morning. But a few weeks back, our weekend stock boy, he tore some ligaments in his arm or shoulder. It was one or the other at his other job. So we don't have a weekend stock boy, so every weekend they had to choose one of us regular production bakers to do stock. I did it today. Now, I did some stock before when I worked at 8th Street Books and Comics, where we get the new comic books in, get the new toys in, you know, and usually I don't mind it. But the thing is, with stock at Superstore, it is fucking bullshit. I am serious. Because when we get the stock at the bakery, it's not put into the back room. Like some of it is, because the service bay door is not that far. But if it's dropped off at the other service bay doors on the other side of the store, for produce, leisure, meats, then it's taken right to the store and just dropped off in front of the bakery, right in the middle of the store, in the corner of the store. So first thing I do when I get into the bakery and do stock is bring those pallets in to the back room. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's not so bad. All the bakery stuff is on those pallets. Well, yes and no. You see, those pallets are shipped in and they're shit. Because we don't just have bakery stuff on there, we have meats. And I mean meats. Raw meat. And I'm not... Now, when I'm saying that, I'm not talking about it's raw, it's soft, it's all bloody. No, it's all frozen. It comes in frozen to us. But still, meat products on a bakery pallet. That should never happen. Alright? Sometimes we also get deli stuff. And a lot of it is, well, pretty much all of it's already pre-packaged. But still, that shouldn't happen. Right? And not all the bakery stuff is shipped into there. Like some of our bakery stuff might be on a meat pallet, or on a produce or deli pallet. And they don't ship it all in and bring it all to the bakery. No. I had to get one pallet from the seafood department. Another one was in the back of the meat freezer. And what was in front of that pallet? But dairy stuff, like ice cream and produce. All that fucking shit. Like, they don't fucking care. That is probably violating several food safety laws, and nobody cares. And if I file a complaint, they're probably just going to push it aside. Which is why I'm going to be quitting later at the end of the month. But, as you might know, I have had a crappy day at work. So, I leave at the end of my shift, and on my way to and from work, there's a park right down my house, and right at my end of the park, by my house, there's a playground, and then there's a path leading towards the superstore, the car wash, petrol can, KFC. It goes right through the park. It's a bit of a walk. It takes me about 5 minutes to get to work. So, because it's spring, the snow has been melting. And at night, that melted snow turns into ice. And usually that ice would melt in the day, but today it was a bit of a cold day, probably like about -1. And most of that ice was still frozen. There was a woman walking from Superstore. She had 2 bags from Superstore, walking home from groceries, and I saw her, and she was walking slow across patches of ice. So she's just watching out that she's slippery, watching out that so that she doesn't slip and fall, which she was doing. But only because, well, probably before that. Because I saw her, she would turn back and watch me. And usually I'd either walk to the side or my shoes would have enough grip that I wouldn't have slip and fall too often. So, and she was just a complete stranger to me that lives on my crescent. I knew that after we got through the park. But as we were reaching the next patch of ice, she says, this is where it gets really slippery. Like, I have osteoporosis, so if I slip and break my bones, that's it for me. Now, osteoporosis is, I wouldn't say it's really a disease, it's more like a condition. It happens to both men and women. It's basically a lack of calcium in a person's body and makes brittle bones. You have very brittle bones, they can easily break. Most people develop it in their middle-aged years, and this woman, she looked like she was mid to late 50s. Because she had the look of a grandmother. She had wrinkles, not too deep wrinkles, but not that many. She still looked young, yet you can tell she was old. But every time we made it to a patch of ice, I made sure she made it across safely. Like, I didn't help her by grabbing hold of her and guiding her across the ice. No, I just went first. When I made it across, I just stopped and looked at her and see her go across. And she just kept thanking me for my concern. So, I just had to do this video. Because when we finally got her through the park, she said she was completely safe now. She thanked me for all my concern. And I said, I hope she got home safely. And I'm sure she did. But all that rage, my bad mood, all my anger that I had from work, it completely vanished. All because of that old lady. So the piece of advice that I'm giving you guys here, because I just had to say this video, is no matter how bad it might seem for you, somebody could always have it worse. Now you might thinking that's bad advice, but I'm thinking it's good advice. Because it makes you think of others and how they're treated or how their lives are. Like, I thought I had a bad childhood back in elementary school. I was the loner. Only one time was I ever beaten up. Then I met my friend Sean, and he had it much worse than me. Maybe not feel so bad. He's probably going to hate this video if he sees it. Good thing he's not subscribed to me on YouTube. Well, I hope he's not. But, yeah. Things could always get worse. And yet somebody could still have it as bad. Much worse than you. So. No matter what, just think of that. And if you can, when you're in a bad mood, try and find something to do, like a good deed. Hold the door open for someone. Help an old lady across the street or through a park. Like, just do a good deed. And your bad mood should go away. Like it did for me. So, I just had to make this video. So, it's already 11 minutes, 40 seconds long. So, I hope you all stayed to the end, and thanks for watching. Crazy Red out.